What has been going on hip hop related?
Eminem and Drake, like, it's something we have to address.
Our cash cow is over. No,
our cash cow has gone out to pasture.
No, yeah, we did 2 videos on Eminem and Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Their beef, quote unquote beef.
The idea of a beef.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the first one did really good. The second one did even pretty good.
I think if you add both of them together, it's like 2,000 views so far.
Yeah,
because one was like maybe
1,600.
Yeah,
like
and the second one I think is
really
about
good.
400 almost now.
So, yeah, what would this episode of the DOMS and K.O.N. podcast be if we didn't talk about Eminem and Drake?
We have to bring them up. You know, like there's no way to not.
So, yeah, the beef is squashed.
He brought out
the fictitious beef.
He brought out Eminem at
yeah.
What was it? Was it OVO Fest in Detroit?
No,
or was
it's
it just a concert?
it's the Summer 16 tour.
Oh,
so Drake,
okay.
yeah, Drake and Future are on the Summer 16 tour right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Drake brought out Eminem in his hometown, Detroit,
Michigan,
and they did Forever. They played the song Forever, and they popped Eminem up from the ground. It was pretty sick.
It did look dope. If you were in the crowd, you'd probably be amazed at that
you
shit.
could tell, like, when his verse started and, like, he started actually rapping and you could see him on the stage. Like, there's another angle, I think, that Drake posted on his Instagram that's, like, a fan view, and, like, people just start losing it when they figure out it's Eminem.
I could see, like, so many girls and they're, like, maybe disgruntled or angry boyfriends there, and then Eminem comes up like, oh, shit.
Oh. Yeah.
Just the whole mood changes.
But yeah, so he brought him out to do Forever, and then Drake said Eminem is the greatest rapper to ever touch a microphone.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like those 2 rappers on stage is like $1 billion in money,
Right.
in $1 billion in advertisement, in hip hop, in records and albums. Like a Jimmy Iovine or whoever's owning Universal Music, no way you're letting anybody fuck up that Drake money.
Right.
You know, no way in hell you're letting anybody fuck up that Eminem money.
Yeah.
You know, Apple, Jimmy Iovine, everybody I see on a conference call like, we gotta call Slim. We have to make this happen. We can't let anybody fuck up that type of money.
We can't keep this going.
Know?
Like,
it's like one of those,
you have
like,
to come out here.
Yeah.
You have to do this to settle the rumors.
Exactly. Even though it seemed like a little bit awkward, it didn't seem like a super supernatural thing. Maybe
Eminem
it's not. Eminem is kind of like a really reclusive dude, you know, so maybe
it's
that's
an
his
honor
way.
to share the stage with you.
Yeah. Make Drake feel at home.
It seemed a little... who knows? Maybe he was showing Drake love and it just didn't really...
And maybe just because it's from a camera angle.
I feel like he was just like, I have to do this.
Yeah, you have to.
It's whatever.
He's getting those big calls. Like, come on,
he didn't want to come out and perform
No,
forever,
hell no.
You know?
I don't necessarily think that.
No, but he was like, I have to do this to settle the whatever.
It's such a huge...
But the caption, views from the Joe, I was mad confused. Eminem posted a picture of him and Drake on his Instagram.
I was like, did Joe Budden take the picture? Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, why else would it be called that?
It was on, like, Drake's Instagram, Eminem's Instagram.
I saw it on
everywhere.
Facebook. Like, someone had posted it. Like, just everybody. Like, the one where Drake's wearing the Bone Thug shirt, and I think it's in front of, like, a Red Wings sign or something.
Drake was wearing a Bone Thug shirt.
Because I think it's probably, like, where the Red Wings play or something like that in Detroit.
Yeah.
The Detroit Red Wings, the hockey team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason I'm guessing. But yeah, like, people like that is like if the head of Toyota and Nissan were going at it, or the heads of, like, fucking Apple and I don't even know what you could compare to Apple, Google or something. You know, unless they're both owned by the same thing now.
I mean, like
maybe Google owns YouTube,
or like Verizon, or what is, like, or not
something
Verizon,
like
but the Galaxy, the other
Samsung or something like that,
the other smartphone.
Yeah, or just imagine, like, I don't know,
iPhone gang.
If let's say, like, Google and Apple aren't owned by each other or whatever, I don't know, because it seems like everything's owned by somebody, you know.
Yeah, I'm not.
But
sure.
if something was that huge versus something that's that huge, you're gonna get someone in the Illuminati, maybe the Illuminati called him, like, you gotta squash this shit,
straight up.
you know, because this is something that's fucking
and
up
Drake
some money.
knows he doesn't want no problems with Eminem.
No,
like, he, you know what I mean? He's like, yo, Hot 97 throwing my name in this
because he didn't
fuck
start
shit.
it. Like, he might have said it as a joke, you
Right.
know, like, just to have some conversation with someone you think that's a friend and gonna keep it private. And you're just messing around. You don't want that to become like a huge headline. And it was like something from Hot 97 that wasn't even a YouTube video. It was ripped from the radio show. You know, like, who were to think that would start a million plus tweets about the idea and memes and 1,000 fake YouTube diss songs that are like, oh, Eminem's response.
Right.
And it'd be like a Benzino diss,
and
but they just say he's talking.
Podcast talking about it and getting some views.
Yeah, exactly. 2 kids in Vegas talking about it and cashing in.
Yeah.
YouTube ain't good off this fucking beef, though. I'll say that.
All right. YouTube probably made some money off.
So imagine like the money they're seeing getting lost just by the attention it got just off YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because our videos definitely. I don't know. Our video did better than like some of these other videos I see like in their.
Oh, definitely. Though. Yeah.
So
people that have kind of more structured YouTube channels that are ones that do
this
talk about stuff like that.
Third clip of Eminem and Drake.
Well, if we
related material.
If we would have put up the clip from the first episode, we could have had one every single episode that's related to the Joe Budden Drake shit, streaming all the way to the M Drake, because that's what it spawned from. If Joe and Drake were never beefing, it would have never came up. You know, there would have been no relevance to it.
And now everybody's like wondering what Joe Budden, how he feels about it. I think he like tweeted something about it.
On his last 2 podcasts, I hadn't really heard him talk about it, so maybe he's kind of off of it now. But I think he did say he's going to stop dissing him. I think he did make that announcement.
Yeah.
After 4 songs. He had a run.
From the Joe. Yeah.
Or maybe M was just putting that just to fuck with Joe, like as a like inside joke kind of thing. Fool, watch people start Eminem versus Joe Budden rumor. It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Joe Budden.
It's just the gift that keeps on giving. I know, right?
Eminem is beefing with Joe Budden now, guys.
It's official. Breaking news.
Breaking news, yeah.
MTV
Eminem
News.
beefs with Joe Budden now?
2 kids in Las Vegas, Nevada said on their podcast that Joe Budden is beefing with Eminem. More on it later.
More on that later. We're going to believe them because they seem to be telling the truth.
This is their 5th podcast, so if they
this
only
is
had 2...
something real.
If they only had 2, maybe it'd be in question. But 5 podcasts, it means they're official. Like a referee with the motherfucking whistle. I'm just kidding. That was supposed to be a whistle. It didn't come off like that.
Oh, man. I was trying to find what Joe Budden said. Okay, yeah, he says, I'm smoking hookah with my girl. Why do I have... Oh, come on. Don't play me no damn
I know,
music.
right? That's copyrighted material.
Sorry, guys.
We're going to get sued.
Played a shitty ad on this website. Joe Budden says, I thought there was a part where he was like, oh, I'm just trying to be... Yeah, I keep trying to be irrelevant, but y'all won't let me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smoking hookah with my girl. Why do I have 30 mentions? Because 2 top-tier artists perform together. I'm lost.
Is there a picture of it?
Of what?
Joe Budden or whatever?
No, it's just like a...
Oh, I thought it was like a picture of him smoking hookah or something.
No.
Fucking Joe Budden, man. He gave us 4 songs. I mean, what else could we really want from him? Unless he did make that 25 songs Drake requested.
But that does stir up a lot, though. Like, you can't... You know what I mean? Like, Eminem wouldn't have done this if...
He's definitely made the summer interesting.
Yeah, if Drake wouldn't... You know what I mean? If the Hot 97 Drake thing wouldn't have happened, and if the Drake Joe Budden thing would have happened, that would have never happened. So I just...
You think Joe Budden's album sells a little bit more because of this? Because he's definitely more relevant.
I feel like, he's definitely more relevant right now. I don't know, man.
I mean, if the whole idea was to get him more relevant, which I don't think that was Joe Budden's reasoning, but because I just think he's like a really, I just think he's a person who does whatever he wants. You know, like that whole, when Raekwon punched him, it was because VH1, of all things, had like a top 50 MCs list. And Method Man was placed above him. And he was like, how are you going to say, if both of us go into a radio station and both of us spit bars, you're not going to raise your eyebrows at Method Man? You know, like he said, it's going to be uneventful or like nothing interesting is going to happen. And if I spit a 16, it's going to be impactful. And that's how that whole beef started, you know, like just going after Method Man out of all people, like leave him alone, you know. Joe just doesn't give a shit. But it definitely, for anything that has happened, it definitely has made his name a more popular topic and a more just occurring in people's minds that probably hadn't thought of him for a long time, or younger people who had never heard of him.
Right. Yeah. So our big topic's killed, man. Eminem versus Drake are not
Thanks
beefing.
a lot, Jimmy Iovine.
I still think, or I still could see Drake having a slight slight
sublims for the rest of this shit.
Just because. Just like, I don't know.
Bro, if he completely stopped fucking with Kendrick and they started having a beef because of what he said in the Control verse, which was just like, these are rappers I'm going after. You know what I'm saying? He didn't mean it as nothing personal. He meant like, this is my class of MCs.
There was
so
a lot of
everybody
speculation over that, though. It was more than just the Control verse.